How are you guys? Sorry, a little squinty-eyed because I'm outside because there was this like really annoying beep inside the clubhouse. Like, but that would be terrible to listen to me and that at the same time. Today I want to talk about how to be an effective parent. So, for those of you who know me personally, sorry for the bad hair, just finished double cardio. For those of you who know me personally, know that I'm not a kid person naturally, never was. And I definitely really struggle with kids who don't behave well. And parents who are like disconnected and don't notice the things that their kids are doing that are not supposed to be doing, like walking around in a restaurant, grabbing stuff in my house, touching stuff, and the parents aren't even paying attention. Which honestly, that rarely happens because I have great friends who are great parents. I guess it's kind of finding like-minded people, and those are the ones who are your friends. But I established that notion to say that I've had a lot of opinions on parenting since I was young. I've seen a lot of brokenness, broken families, and kids acting out for attention and all these things. And I've always had even opinions on how to discipline. And I want to say, because apparently I never had a right to even have an opinion on child rearing, which is asinine, by the way. I'll say that because the pastor of my old church, she's in her 60s or probably 70s now. She was a teacher for many years and a pastor, did nursery school, all these things. And she would have the class behave, the kids behave, would implement her disciplines and whatever. And she had been told before by parents whose kids don't behave, no less. And she was told that she has no right to have an opinion, and that's BS. Okay? Now, I was one without a lot of experience, so I get that part. But I mean, somebody like that. But anyway, why do I say that? Is because I was annoyed for many years that I had no right to have an opinion. And I was always told, wait till you have a kid. You'll see. You won't be able to yell at them. You won't be able to discipline them. I was like, yeah, whatever. Roll my eyes at these crappy parents around me. And now that I have a kid, I can have an opinion. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. No, and I will say, none of my opinions have changed. Not one. But I will not be arrogant, because I will admit one thing that I have learned from pre-parent to being a parent. And that one thing is that kids don't just do stuff because you tell them. I really thought that you'd be a dictator, a tyrant. No, I really thought that you were the authority, which you are, and that just because you say no, they do it. And it wasn't until I started sleep training my son that I realized that I had to convince him to do what I wanted. Now, this doesn't mean you negotiate and give in to whims. That's not what I'm saying. But it's about that they need to believe and agree that what you want from them, what you're asking from them, is the best thing for them. Now, if the other side to that is a timeout or some punishment, then, they go, yeah, I'd rather not get punished. That's one way to encourage. But anyway, that was like a revelation. A revelation is you are a salesperson to your kids. You need to give them good reasons to follow what you are asking them to. You are not a dictator, a communist dictator who just you do it because I say, and if you don't, you die. Like, no, that doesn't work that way. But anyway, so I say all of that to say that's the setup for me to give you tips on how to be an effective parent. So in the 20s, there was a book released that talked about all you need to do is feed a child, talking about babies, diaper the child, change the diapers, and that's it. And if they cry extra and you carry them and you given to their crying whims, then what you're doing is creating a spoiled child. So the advice was to carry as less as possible, let them cry as long as you're meeting their needs. And that book affected a couple generations. And then the response to that book was Dr. Spock's book, which was the foundation of positive parenting, no discipline, and so forth, that then is now affecting today. So what were parents like in the early 1900s, and even before to a degree, but I'm just giving the influence of this particular book that, wouldn't even meet babies' needs emotionally, which is crazy. It was super strict, super harsh, negative reinforcement, okay? Then, after Dr. Spock, his book catched on a little bit, and now what we have, and that was in the 60s, okay? And now what we have today is super positive all the time without any discipline at all, and it's creating little monsters. You can't. I miss the negative. I miss the super harsh parents, because you could at least be in a restaurant without a screaming child or a child walking around and walking up to your table. Like, what? A child crawling on the floor under your table. What? And if a restaurant kicks out a family, then they're going to review them on the internet and say they are not a kid-friendly place or something ridiculous like that. No, like, get a handle on your children, people. Anyway, so now we have something ridiculous, and it's even gotten into the church. The Bible has a lot of verses on training up a child the way they should go, spare the rod, spoil the child, so forth, so forth, so forth. And yet, instead of the church influencing the culture, we are being influenced by the culture. A lot of positive reinforcement, no negative. The kids behave crazy in nursery class. And yeah. And there's some churches that do it better. Yes, I understand. But I've just seen it. So, I say all of that to say, tips on effective parenting. It's very simple. Number one, you need both positive and negative. Okay? So the positive reinforces the good behavior. The positive tells the child what behavior you would like to see. Okay? And the negative stops the behaviors you don't want to see. Now, what do I say by positive? Positive is when your child's doing something you want to do, like playing quietly by himself. You make a mental note. Like, you have to try, because when they're not bothering you, sometimes you stop paying attention to them because you're busy. You make a mental note to say, wow, you did really good playing by yourself. And like, if they follow your instructions, they follow your rules, you did really good doing that. Good job. Thank you for helping mommy, and so forth. And let me tell you, it goes far. They love it. And give treats and rewards. Negative is timeouts, spankings. Spankings are okay, by the way. I wouldn't say it's the first, should be the first order of business. It should be in extreme circumstances, but spankings are okay. And warnings, whatever. Try not to go extreme first. Couple warnings, whatever. But you want to eradicate the behaviors you don't want to see, because then you don't even want to be around your kid. Like, one of the rules in Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life is raise a kid you like. Sounds ridiculously like common sense, but apparently nobody has common sense anymore, because that's not something you see. So it's eradicating behavior. It's using negative reinforcement to eradicate behaviors you don't want. Something that works really well with my son. And by the way, kids, there's different kids, and different things work for different kids. And, which, by the way, my son right now, just so you know, just so there's a little bit of proof that I know what I'm talking about, that I finally can have an opinion on the subject. My son right now is sitting inside the clubhouse, separate from me. He is 2.5, by the way, watching videos, and I could see him from here. But because of the beeping noise, I had to come outside, so that way you can hear me well. But I told him, don't move from that spot. I've been talking for 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Let me show you where he is, just so you know. And he could wave hello. Let's see can you see him? Yes, you can. He doesn't even see me. Anyway, So you need both the positive and the negative in order to drive your point, get the behaviors you want, also encourage your children. Too much negative is demeaning, is a child not knowing if they're ever doing anything right. So yes, you need both. And too much positive, you create little spoiled monster brats that no one wants to be around, which is what's pervasive today. But like I said, I would take negative any day, just because back in the day you wouldn't have to deal with these little monsters, you know. But anyway, what is the goal though? The goal is not to have a well-behaved child today. The goal is to create an awesome adult. Now, you cannot create an awesome adult if you let them do whatever they want at their whim, whine, and still get what they want, never have any consequences for their actions. You're literally creating a megalomaniac. But you also do not create an awesome adult if you are literally oppressing them through punishment at all times, or really severe punishments for things that aren't so severe, and they never do anything right. You are literally creating someone with no self-esteem, who turn out to be people pleasers and so forth. So, okay, you need the positive and the negative. So that's one, the number one thing. The number two thing, in order to make it all work, this is literally a 2-tip video, just a little bit long, because I obviously am very passionate about the subject. The second thing you need is to always keep your promises, good and bad. So when I tell my son he's gonna be rewarded with something, I keep that promise. Now, mind you, let's say the reward's a pool and it's raining. Okay, we can't keep that one. But the point is, do your very best. Don't promise something in a lie. Don't lie to your kids. They will not trust you if you lie. They need to trust you. Do not promise something you can't deliver on. And always try your best to deliver on your promises. If you always say realistic promises, you can't deliver like 98% of the time, and then the kid will understand those 2% and they won't lose trust. They need to trust you. So number one, deliver on your rewards, and also deliver on punishment. When I'm counting to 3 and my son doesn't get to me, the punishment that I have told him he would receive, he does receive. When I say, if you do that again, you're gonna get a timeout, if he doesn't listen, he gets a timeout. Because if not, then he doesn't respect he doesn't respect my request of him. And that goes for both, because if you don't give the rewards, what the heck is he gonna listen to you? And if you don't give the punishments, what the heck is he gonna listen to you for? There's nothing behind those words. They are lip service. As you know, I'm not a lip service kind of person. But anyway, I want to throw out these tips. I wanted to give you a little background about me, be real with you, not a kid person naturally, but also be real with you, like, hey, even if you're not a parent, it's okay for you to look around and find things that you see now happening, or your meal interrupted in a restaurant. I keep talking about restaurants. I guess that's usually where the worst happens, because you're sitting there for a while. That your meal is interrupted and you're paying good money for this thing. You're on a budget, you're going out, like going to restaurants like a luxury. And if you look around and you feel crazy that no one's like saying, hey, what's wrong with this? Like, why aren't servers and management asking people to go outside? They really should. They really should. It's really not fair to the other patrons. I used to go to my gym here in Aventura, and there was a kid who would run around hitting other kids, including mine, and the dad would say sorry and just like tell him, no, don't do that. But what would he do? The whole time he's on the phone. So here's another thought, so you know. If you give only negative attention, FYI, also in this harshness, negative attention, whether it's not harsh either, but his is, no, that's wrong, that's bad, don't do that. If you only give negative attention, they're literally, and not enough positive, they're literally going to do wrong things so you can pay attention to them. Because the dad otherwise was not involved with the kid, wasn't playing with the kid, And guess what? Everybody else has to parent the kid. No, sorry. But, and that was one case. Oh, there's another. There's another where moms just came to talk to each other and their kids were literally harassing other kids, doing all kind of stuff, behaving, terribly behaved, and their parents are not present. And I told the mind gym people, I was like, you need to have a policy in place. 3 strikes, you're out. You need to have a policy, because guess who's going to start leaving, which we did. The people who have well-behaved kids. They don't stand out to you. You don't hear them shouting. You don't. You're not even paying attention to them because they're doing what they should do. And guess what? If you don't put in the rules and say, hey, follow the rules listed, and if you don't follow them, you're going to be kicked out. If you don't follow them, there's a warning, and so forth. You're going to start losing the revenue of the parents who are actually involved with their kids, who actually have good kids, the ones who will make your business thrive, and more of those will just tell more good moms, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So, but anyway, the silent, well-behaved ones leave, while the rowdy ones that had no form of discipline, even the parents disciplined in this My Gym, get to stay and reap the benefits, while the business, My Gym business, starts declining. So, just sharing that. And there's one more thing I wanted to share. Going back to the restaurant point, and I'll show you a picture. I'll end this video with a picture on my birthday at a restaurant in the morning with the 2 babies. When I am in a restaurant, people don't know there's kids there. They don't. I have tips. Maybe I'll make another video on how to succeed with your kids in a restaurant. But part of it is, it's just keeping their schedule, one, right? Because if they're tired, they're not going to behave well. So I respect my kids' schedule out. Like, I could go into a lot of other videos on tips, which I probably will. But the other is the daily teaching, the daily expectation of what they should be doing at certain times. And I've taught them how to be in restaurants, even my littlest. And yeah, so you will not know. We were at an Indian restaurant on Sunday with my sister, celebrating my brother-in-law's birthday, belated. And you would have no idea. No screaming, no crying, no throwing food. None of that happened. You would have no idea there's a 2.5-year-old and an 11-month-old in the restaurant. And you know what? I'm not sitting here tooting my horn. I'm sitting here giving you tips that I apply, that I have learned, thoughts that I've had, and then realized, oh, what? They are true. And tips on how to do it. And also, I'm immune to their cries. Like, they could cry all they want. Like, whatever. As in, I'm going to do what's best for them, even if they don't want it at the moment. But I say all that to say, not tooting my own horn, but it's totally possible to get your kids to do what you want, so that you like them and you want to be around them. They go where I go, and I love it. Anyway, long video. I'll probably do more on sleep training, schedules, meeting their needs, so forth and so forth and so forth, on another time. But I wanted to talk about this because I'm so passionate about it, and I would like to see better parents and happy parents, because parents of spoiled, bratty kids aren't happy parents. It's just the truth. And I'm going to sign out with showing you that Joden's still in the same spot, and that I'm going to put the picture right at the end of us at a restaurant on my birthday 3 months ago. Let's see if he waves this time. Where is he? There he is. Can you blow a kiss to mommy? No? Okay. I hope you saw that. Hope I got a good angle. Bye, y'all.